What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Sideline Summit. I'm finally back with UPenn's finest, Danny Cole, who's finally back from his vacation and able to record. Danny, how was your vacation and how are you doing today?
Vacation was really fun. Explored a little Puerto Rico. Had a lot of fun. Got some new Young LA drip and go from here.
Yeah, new gym apparel. We're going to be talking about a lot of moves in the NFL quarterback wise. We're going to be getting into that. We're going to be talking about the Sixers versus Nets game that just happened, that embarrassment in Philadelphia, and then we're going to be talking about the updated NBA MVP ladder. But getting to the quarterbacks, um, you know, Steelers are a team looking for a quarterback, so I think I'll just let you take it away. You know, a certain guy just got cleared of his criminal cases. He's not like all the way off the hook, but just take it away, Danny. What do you think the Steelers got to do to get Deshaun Watson?
Deshaun Watson really is the ideal quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Off the field and on the field, you can make a joke if you want to say that.
Definitely off the field. Definitely a culture guy.
Uh, but you heard what Najee Harris said. He said he really wants Deshaun Watson to be his quarterback. I would send him Claypool, Devin Bush, 20th pick this year and next year's first. And if they accept it, they accept it. I really think that'll get it done. You're getting a young receiver, a young linebacker, and two firsts. I think that gets it done.
Nah, yeah, I think so. You mentioned this earlier with the trading Claypool thing. That assumes they re-sign Juju or they get another weapon because in a lot of deals you don't want to send a weapon like away. Like in the Wilson trade, they sent him there, but they sent Fant to Seattle. However, he has a good backup, which I'm not even going to pronounce how to say his name. And then he's also got Sutton, and then he's got Judy, which obviously they're going to have to. If they develop this year, they could be a scary team as well. But I think Watson would be a great fit in Pittsburgh. I honestly think he can make them a championship contender as long as they fix up, if they can fix up their secondary a little bit. Um, Cameron Hayward and Watt are menaces on the line. If Devin Bush, well, if he's traded, then it doesn't matter. But if they can fix some linebacker problems too, I think the Steelers could really contend. I think
One,
them and the Broncos were two teams that were, a quarterback away in my eyes.
one thing about this move, Watson and Brian Flores said they wanted to link up when Flores was
That's
the
true. That is right.
offense.
That's why like Miami was the main candidate for him. He's only 26 years old and almost
Younger,
had as many allegations on his head.
younger than Carson Wentz, younger than Dak Prescott.
Younger than Buddy Hield.
He's a
Very
couple
key.
couple years older than Joe Burrow. Like, think about that.
Yeah, man. Right there. Other teams pursuing Watson are like the Panthers. I don't really like that one. It would just be like the Texans all over again. They're not good in any like one area. The receivers are okay, like maybe like C plus B minus. Otherwise, they don't really got much going for them. So I wouldn't like that fit. I don't think he would even waive his no trade clause for that. The Eagles were reportedly, names, even though it's been reported several times. Deshaun Watson's not, you know, he's not waiving his no trade clause for Philadelphia. And there was a fake report saying Hurts took the Eagles out of his bio, even though it was never there. We were both in the car when that happened.
Yeah, it's just fake news at that point.
It's because there's Saudi Eagles fans who don't see the development of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a guy who always improves, and they simply just don't want to face the facts. And a guy who also always improves, despite how old he is Aaron Rodgers, and he's going to be back in Green Bay. Um, reportedly, it was a 4 year, 200 million, but Rodgers says that's not the deal. But he will be back. Let's say it is 4 years. Do they win a Super Bowl?
No,
I'm gonna have to say it's Aaron Rodgers, so I'm gonna say yes because he's Aaron Rodgers. He's one of the five best quarterbacks in football, and if you set
ever.
aside Tom Brady, if you set aside the Tom Brady goggles and actually look at it, he's one of the best playoff quarterbacks in NFL history.
You know what's crazy? Tom Brady gets a lot of praise for being a great quarterback in the playoffs. He does not have many playoff games where he's thrown over 300 yards.
I would have to look it up, but I think you're right. I mean, he's had a lot of games where he's had top 10 defenses, and Mac Jones is also a merchant of that.
Want to hear something crazy?
And Rodgers cannot. Rodgers can't really.
Patrick Mahomes has 0 seasons with a top 10 defense.
Well, when you're Patrick Mahomes and you have the perfect weapons around you, you know, hard to lose a shootout that way, regardless how bad the defense is.
I think we saw it this year. Moving on to the other quarterback move, though, you really saw a really big move in the AFC West. Russell Wilson going to the Broncos. Drew Lock, Noah Fant, couple picks. That team's legit. That team's legit, man.
Now, don't sleep. I mean, the Seahawks kind of got a good haul. But I mean, they can get an even better haul if they just send DK for that Eagles 19th pick. But Denver, they look good. They got weapons. They got a quarterback who can shoot it out. He can really do it with anyone. I've always been a big Wilson guy. I thought, I always thought he was a top 5 level guy. I mean, he's roughly near the end of the top 10, but I think he could easily bounce back. Richard Sherman, I guess on some podcast said, if they don't win a Super Bowl, people are going to lose their jobs because of him. And I don't know if that's supposed to be shade, like him saying Wilson isn't that good, or I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I don't know what beef he has with Wilson, but
yeah, Russell Wilson, he is still elite arm talent, as we saw. The Seahawks are really a catastrophe. Their O-line sucks. The Broncos have a decent O-line. They have a good running game in Melvin Gordon and Devontae Williams. They have some stars. Their defense is putting together with PS2 and Bradley Chubb, and Von Miller might come back, and Bobby Wagner might sign. You never know. That team could really be that team that beat the Legion of Boom a couple years ago.
Yeah, look, the key to stopping some high-flying offense is defense, and an offense that could get it done. So they got the keys to beat the teams like Chargers, Chiefs. It's just a matter of making sure things click. Like if Mahomes is missing, you have to be on top of that, because otherwise you're not going to win. When he falters, you got to make up for it.
Agreed.
Yeah, and then one more quarterback move in the East. Carson Wentz is back in the NFC East. He's with the Washington Commanders. And a lot of Eagles fans have been on defense this week for some reason. They've been like, oh, he's going to torch the Eagles, or that was a good move for Washington and all this. I think Eagles fans need to realize he's not the quarterback anymore. He's never going to be the quarterback again. He is a selfish player. There's been many reports of him upset that the Eagles won a Super Bowl without him. Reportedly the guy who confronted him about it was Darren Sproles of all people, who, mind you, that same year on the same play tore his ACL and broke his forearm. No complaints from him. Why? Because it didn't matter. He still ended up a champion.
Yeah, I think Carson Wentz it makes them contenders. I wouldn't say Super Bowl contenders. It makes them contenders.
Contenders for the first pick?
No, for the division.
No.
The Cowboys losing.
Absolutely not.
They might be losing Michael Gallup. You're getting Chase Young back. You're getting Montez Sweat back. The secondary is still young. There's a lot that team can. I think the team's going to prove a lot of people wrong this year. You just got to sign a couple key pieces back on the offensive line.
Who the hell wants to sign in Washington?
I mean,
I can't believe you actually just said that. That might be worse than what you said on TikTok. I don't know. No, contenders for the division. That's such a bad thing to say.
I don't say Super Bowl contenders. I said
no. I don't even 5 wins max. Who do you think Carson Wentz is?
I really think you're underrating the rest of the team around him.
I've watched them. I watch them pretty often due to them being our rivals. They're not good. Terry McLaurin didn't do too much against Darius Slay, who's one of the elite corners. And then there's also, I don't want to say Trevon Diggs is necessarily elite, but if he takes a leap, or he can get bumped to cornerback too, that could work out for him.
One problem is I think you're forgetting that Chase Young tore his ACL and is coming back.
I'm not forgetting about Chase Young. The NFC East has two of like the best tackles. The Eagles have two Pro Bowl level tackles. Dallas has some of the best tackles. I mean, not guards anymore. I think Frederick retired or the center. I can't remember. But regardless, he used to play against Pro Bowl tackles like 4 of his 17 games. I can promise you he doesn't he's not doing much against Lane Johnson as most edges do in his defense. And Carson Wentz is easily like one of the most like bound to mess up quarterbacks. I think we
Here's
know that he will openly lose you a football game,
here's a
and
question
it's
I pose
very
to you
seldom
today:
does he when you won.
Baker Mayfield or Carson Wentz?
I'd say Carson Wentz based off he has some athleticism, and like I just said, it's not often he'll win you a game, but he could win you a game. Like it's not a high chance, but his play alone could win you a game. However, him and Baker also both have the setting of I'll lose you a game just because I don't know. Both have bad mechanics. Both have good arms and they don't know how to use it. They don't have like this great touch down the field. They both have very poor decision making. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it was a great move. And then right after they got him, Watson's available. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Aside from the
that that
QB
that must
frenzy,
hurt. That must hurt really.
yeah. Aside from the QB frenzy, we had another move today. Amari Cooper to the Cleveland Browns. So I brought up Baker. That's is Baker going to be revived? Is
Doubt.
he got the torn? He got the labrum surgery. Is he going to get his number one weapon? They might go and draft another receiver. If you can get him
Maybe,
some elite
but
weapon,
I don't know. I wouldn't bank on it, but I mean, if he actually does like bounce back, they're probably I think they could win the division. They're super talented, like all around. But no, I can't bank on that happening.
I agree.
I agree. All right, well, let's move on to some Sixers versus Nets. We're gonna go to the NBA. Last what was it, 2 3 nights ago? The Nets curb stomped the Sixers in Philadelphia without their new acquisition, Ben Simmons. Seth Curry played a great game. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving did their thing. But what I take away from this is Sixers fans should not worry. Maxey played the worst game he had all year. Same with James Harden. Embiid, I mean, if you were to just look at the counting stats without like field goal wins and all that, it looked like he played well, but he might have had his worst game of the year as well, outside of Al
Five,
Horford owning
he
him.
was
But
5 for 17 from three. I mean, from the field.
free
Really
throw
wasn't
merchant
hitting.
that game.
I mean, you can call him a free throw merchant all year if you really want to, but he makes them. You could call Shaq a free throw merchant, but he didn't make them.
Yeah, so he's not a merchant. He's a slow down the game merchant.
Exactly.
But anyway, I think this is what peak Nets could look like. You got three guys getting 20 plus points. You got the bench contributing, and this is what the Sixers can look like at their worst when Harden's shots aren't falling and Maxey's shots aren't falling. This isn't going to happen often. Like this is what they don't really have to worry about that. However, if they're not hitting their shots and in all defense guard is like sitting on the bench, like that's rough. Like if he does play, it could cause havoc. However, he could play and then just be a complete negative, like he was last year in the playoffs. Um,
Yeah, but here's a
yeah.
problem. I don't think you realize that Ben Simmons will mess up the spacing for the Nets very, very, very poorly.
Well, it has been reported that he feels like he's in a better environment. He's feeling a lot better. Um, I don't know. Obviously, he's not going to come out shooting like KD and Kyrie and all them. But if he could be a good facilitator and at least shoot one or two a game, he does not have to shoot that much.
Man,
And maybe they're not going over the screens on you and they're not respecting you, but all you have to do is just shoot it because
Ben
that will create the spacing.
cheesesteak environment. He got out of that cheesesteak environment. He's like, yeah, I can shoot threes now. Come on now.
Cheesesteak merchant environment.
He's like, yeah, I don't got to be on South Street anymore and Broad Street. Ben Simmons is a fraud. Ben Simmons is a defensive merchant. He would not be getting paid money if defense didn't
Oh,
exist.
oh wow. I've never heard that before. He's a defense merchant. My guy, my bearded dragon right here, Tatum. He's like trying to get involved. He's like at the corner, he's trying to climb out. Yeah, but transitioning, that's a great transition into the MVP ladder. Jason Tatum has made his first appearance on the ladder. He has appeared at 6. He's over guys like Luka Doncic. He is over guys, I believe, Devin Booker and Chris Paul. Um, I think that might be a little bit too much of a jump. I get it. He's on a hot streak. He's playing really well. The Celtics are playing well. To jump over a guy like Luka, who's been having the same amount of success lately and winning, that's rough. And another part of the ladder I want to talk about was because of this Sixers Nets game. Embiid and Giannis are tied for second. Why is there a tie? You wouldn't tie. You wouldn't have a tie for first place. Why would you have a tie anywhere else? I think if Giannis were to have a bad game and Embiid had a good game, they're flopping immediately. Or if Jokic had a bad game and Embiid had a good game, they're flopping immediately. But Embiid has a bad game, Giannis has a monster game, and they're tied. Yeah, I didn't think Giannis would get photo fatigue because the league just loves him. I feel like refs love him for sure, but I don't know, man. Giannis is still my MVP. He's got his team as second in the East right now, and he's been playing lights out recently. Easily the most dominant player in the game right now, I believe.
For me,
Thoughts?
I think a dude, one man who could climb himself into the MVP ladder is LeBron James.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I'm interested.
He's had two 50-point games in the last week. He really has turned that team. He's really the only reason that team's in the play-in.
Yeah, I
That
feel
team
you.
is that team is horrendous outside of LeBron James. Russell Westbrook hasn't been the same since he went to LA. Anthony
Yeah,
Davis can't stay healthy. This team is nothing without LeBron. And if you're talking about valuable player, I think the Bucks would be decent without Giannis. I think the Sixers would be decent without Embiid. And I think the Nuggets would be okay without Jokic. But in terms of value, LeBron brings so much to the Lakers that I guess every other player doesn't. And I think we've talked about LeBron for so long that we don't even want to consider him to be an MVP.
yeah. Nah. See, so the counting stats will always go his way. Like a lot of the times, he's now officially the league's leading scorer after his 50-point game last night. He won't get it simply because he doesn't have the wins. The last time in MVP was anything below like a 4 seed, I believe, was Westbrook, and that was because he simply made history. I mean, what are they going to do? Not give it to him? But it's always inconsistent. It's never who's actually the most valuable, but you do cherish it the right way. I think it should be that way. There should be maybe be a most valuable, or if you're not going to do it that way, just make it most outstanding player. And then, but yeah, my pick's Giannis. I think he's been killer down the stretch. Guys, I think could make a late push. Ja Morant, if they could, it's not. They probably won't get the 1 seed, but they could get it close. And he like goes on this incredible tear. Maybe Demar's Bulls have been on a skid, so it's hard for him. I wrote an article about the Celtics Bulls if they were to meet in the playoffs. I'm gonna put that in the description. Make sure you guys go check it out, and all other belly up media articles, podcasts, all that. Make sure you guys go check our guys out. Anyway, you're a huge jaw guy. What's his chances of getting? What's his chances at an MVP run with roughly like 35 days left in the season?
John Morant could make it. He might get an MVP, a couple MVP votes. He's not winning it. There's no chance in hell he wins it. He'll have to drop 45 points consecutively for the rest of the games in the NBA season.
See, I think the thing with this MVP race, obviously, we're not about to get a unanimous MVP. I think a lot of guys down like lower on the list could get votes. Tatum could get some votes. Luka could get some votes. Probably not first place votes, but like second, third place votes, and that will go into their MVP shares, which is a whole completely different stat. No one cares about that. But what I'm saying is that there are going to be like Boston media guys, Dallas media guys who are just like, they got hot near the end of the year. I'm going to vote for him, which isn't how it should be. You should look at the full body of work. I love Tatum, but if you watched him from like October to like middle December, that's like the worst basketball player in the league. Like it's like this meme where it's a calendar. It starts here. It's like he's actually dog shit. And then it's like, okay, this is good. And then it's like, this is literally Kobe Bryant. Like it's literally like clockwork, man. Like I'm so serious. It's literally clockwork. I just seen your private chat. It said Tatum clears. Clears who?
Tatum clears everybody.
That's facts, man. Tatum clears. But that just about wraps it up for us. You know, we talked about the quarterbacks, talked about Sixers Nets, we talked about this MVP ladder and how Embiid should be held to the same standard as everyone else. And so should Jokic. Screw those advanced stats. And screw Rudy Gobert for his advanced stats because Marcus Smart is the best defender in basketball. I don't care. Give guards the defensive player of the year.
Yo,
But anyway.
go
ahead. Go ahead. You have a point.
In our next episode, we'll be talking about some free agency predictions in the NFL because you saw the new league season opens up on Tuesday, March 15th. It's really going to be an exciting day because a lot of moves are going to happen. Deshaun Watson may be a Pittsburgh Steeler by then. You never know.
And DK Metcalf's going to be a Philadelphia Eagle by then. And it's all good. And Jalen Hurts will still be an Eagle, so it's okay. All good, man. But that just about wraps it up for us. Thank you guys for tuning in. This will be posted on Sunday. Make sure you guys tune back on Wednesday. That's when we're going to drop another video. Make sure you guys keep, like, subscribe if you're on YouTube, download if you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any podcast platform. Make sure you follow us on all social medias. Make sure you follow us on TikTok. We're getting a lot of traction there, and we love the interaction with you guys. Make sure you guys, tune into all Belly Up stuff, all articles, podcasts, all Belly Up media, man. Danny, what do you put in the private chat? Devin Booker MVP live on TikTok, our mock draft. Also, want to go to Costco with me? I don't see why not. Yeah, guys, listen, I don't got one on me. You guys have to get these Fairlife. You have to get those Fairlife shakes. If you go to the gym and you watch anime and you like sports, get those Fairlife shakes. They are insanity. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Me and Danny will be back Wednesday. Make sure you guys have a phenomenal day. Do you have a quick ad read for Fairlife?
What does anime have to do with Fairlife?
You have to be built like Baki. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey.